topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to Powerful Business Strategies, where you will find out that everything you have ever learned about growing your business is wrong. Finally, a show where you'll learn the right way to grow your business by learning business and financial strategies that your competition isn't doing. And now, here's your host, President of Next Step CFO, Michael Barbarita. And joining Michael for today's show as an executive moderator is Chuki Obiyo.
Well, welcome to Powerful Business Strategies. You know, the reason why you don't hear that more energized voice of Chuki Obiyo welcoming you all to the show is because Chuki's wife and Chuki recently welcomed their first baby, Chelsea Adeze Obiyo, to the world. So congratulations to Chuki and his wife, and Chuki will be on leave for a while. So in the meantime, my name is Michael Barbarita, President of Next Step CFO, and Next Step CFO is a fractional CFO and strategic implementation firm. Business owners hire us to double and triple their profit through implementing business and financial strategies that their competition isn't doing. Our vision is to ensure overwhelmed business owners achieve the time freedom and consistent profits to build a legacy and the life they desire. And our mission is dedicated to guiding those small business owners to leveraging their time, exploding their profits, and building a meaningful legacy. So the show Powerful Business Strategies in our book of the same name is a step toward accomplishing that vision and mission. Chuki and I are both affiliated with a number of different organizations. Chuki currently serves as the Managing Director of Business Development for Better Price, a global business-focused law firm. And in addition to that, Chuki and I collaborate to moderate business roundtables around the country and around the world and document those insights as part of our book, Powerful Business Strategies. But please note that the views expressed on this show are our personal views based on our own successful experiences. And here's something that I'd like to share that I've announced previously. If you have a business problem that you'd like us to answer, or a question, a business question, or a strategy that you'd like to ask about, please email us at ask@nextstepcfo.net. Now, it doesn't matter what the business problem is or what the question is, and we will answer it for you. And there are a couple of things that we ask. Number one, please state whether it is something we can answer on the air, or if it's confidential. Of course, if it's confidential, we won't put it on the air. And number two, please provide your phone number, because business problems can be complex. And so we might need a little bit more context or clarity. That email address again is ask@nextstepcfo.net. And I want to point out that we've had a couple of people with questions that we were able to answer, but they did request confidentiality, which we will always honor. You know, when we business owners wake up each morning, most of us think about our goals, our struggles, our own journey. We make lists of what we need to accomplish, worry about our deadlines, and focus on our personal growth. And while self-improvement and personal growth is very important, I want to challenge you today to think bigger, to think beyond yourself. Because here's the truth that many of us overlook. Every skill you're developing, every obstacle you're overcoming, every lesson you're learning, it's not just for you. The universe has a bigger plan for your talents. Think about it. Why were you given your specific abilities? Why do you have your unique combination of experiences? Why do you feel drawn to certain paths while others don't? The answer is deceptively simple, yet very profound. You were built to be the solution to someone else's problem. Your struggles are preparing you to understand someone else's pain. Your victories are teaching you how to guide others to their own success. Right now, as I speak, someone out there is facing a challenge that only your unique perspective can help them overcome. You are the prescription for someone's pain. Every morning, entrepreneurs across the country wake up facing the same question: is it all worth it? The late nights, the constant pressure, the never ending challenges. Sometimes it feels like pushing a boulder uphill. But here's what separates extraordinary business owners from the rest: they understand that challenges aren't obstacles, they're opportunities disguised as problems. Every successful business owner I've ever worked with didn't succeed because they avoided mistakes. They succeeded because they learned to convert those mistakes into stepping stones. Today, we're continuing our journey into the costly mistakes that could be draining $100,000 or more from your business. Not to make you feel bad about these mistakes, but to show you how to turn them into your greatest competitive advantages. Because when you fix what your competition doesn't even realize is broken, that's when breakthrough and success really happens. So today, we're continuing our exploration of the $100,000 mistakes that could be silently draining profits from your business. Last week, we covered 3 major mistakes: not speaking your customer's language, not doing things in the right or doing things in the wrong order, and having no way to separate yourself from your competitors. The response was overwhelming. So many of you reached out to share how identifying these mistakes has already begun to improve your business. So today, we're going to dive into 3 more critical mistakes that could be costing you $100,000 or more each year. First, we'll explore how undervaluing yourself and your services is creating a profit leak that most business owners don't even realize. We'll show you a counterintuitive approach to pricing that actually attracts better clients while increasing your profit margins. Second, we'll tackle one of the most common yet devastating mistakes: not knowing your numbers. Most business owners are flying blind when it comes to their financial metrics, making decisions based on gut feeling rather than concrete data. We reveal the vital 5 numbers every business owner should know, and every business owner must know, and how understanding these numbers can dramatically improve your decision making. And third, we'll uncover how not understanding the buyer's journey is causing you to leave 97% of your potential market untapped. We'll show you how to capture prospects at every stage of their buying decision, not just the small 1 to 3% of people who are ready to buy today. And these mistakes aren't theory, they're real issues. They're real issues that we've encountered working with hundreds of businesses across dozens of industries. And here's the good news. Like we said last week, they're completely fixable. These mistakes are completely fixable. What's truly exciting is that when you correct these mistakes, you're not just saving money, you're creating new opportunities for growth that competition isn't even aware of. And this is about turning problems into profit centers. So grab that pen and paper, because you're about to discover why everything you've ever learned about growing your business is wrong, and more importantly, what to do about it. Remember, if you're driving, don't grab that pen and paper. Listen to the recording at powerfulbusinessstrategies.com. So as I mentioned, we talked about 3 major mistakes. So let's dive in. We've already talked about the 3 major mistakes last week. So let's dive into that 4th major mistake costing businesses $100,000 or more, and that's undervaluing yourself and your services. This is perhaps the most pervasive mistake I see across nearly every industry and business size. And here's a startling fact. According to our research, over 80% of businesses are underpricing their products or services by at least 5 to 20%. So for a business doing $500,000 in annual revenue, that's $25,000 to $100,000 right there. So let me share a recent example that really drives this home. A consultant in the manufacturing space was charging $125 an hour for his services. This rate was considered to be the industry standard, and it was what everybody else was charging. And when he analyzed the value he was delivering to his clients, he discovered that he was regularly saving them between 50 and 150,000 in operational costs, yet he was pricing his services based on his time, not the value that he delivered. And this is where most business owners go wrong. They price based on the cost or their time rather than the value they create for their customers. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of how pricing actually works. So let me be crystal clear about this. Customers don't say no to you, they say no to themselves. People only say yes to themselves when the value they believe they're getting exceeds the price that they're paying. The key word here is believe, because it's about perceived value, not just the actual value. And this is why demonstrating value is so critical to your pricing strategy. Most business owners simply state their prices without properly building the value first. When you fail to build value, price becomes the only consideration. So here's a framework for building value that allows you to charge premium prices. First, identify and quantify the specific problems that your product or service solves. Second, demonstrate the cost of those problems going unsolved. Third, show the unique approach you take to solving those problems. Fourth, provide proof that your approach works. And five, only then should you present your price, which should now seem not only reasonable, but a bargain in comparison to the value that you're delivering. And so let me give you a real life example of how this works. A marketing agency was charging $3,000 a month for their services, right in line with their competitors. But by implementing this value building framework, they were able to increase their prices to $5,000 a month while actually increasing their closing rate. How'd they do that? Well, they stopped talking about deliverables like social media management and email marketing, and instead they focused on business outcomes that they created. Like, we help manufacturing companies generate between 15 and 25 qualified leads per month with an average client value of $12,000. Suddenly, $5,000 seemed like a value compared to seemed like a bargain compared to the value that they were delivering. And of course, they were able to prove that in their presentation. And this brings me to an important point about pricing psychology. There's a concept called price anchoring that dramatically affects how people perceive your prices. When you present a price without context, people will compare it to whatever reference point they have available. And usually, guess what? It's their competitors' prices. But when you control the reference point by establishing the value you deliver first, you change the entire dynamic, the entire context of the price discussion. For example, if you're a business coach, let's say, and you say, my coaching program is $10,000, well, that might seem expensive in isolation. But if you first establish that your typical client sees a $50,000 increase in profit after working with you, well, suddenly $10,000 seems not only like a reasonable investment, but like a bargain. We're getting a question from a listener. Michael, many business owners worry that raising their prices will drive away customers. Oh, yeah. How do you address that concern? Well, that is a common fear. But here's what's interesting. When you raise your prices strategically, you typically lose the clients you don't want to keep anyway. The price-sensitive clients who demand the most time, cause the most headaches, are usually the first to go. And they're replaced by clients and customers who value quality, results, and expertise. Clients and customers who are actually easier to work with and more appreciative of what you do. Remember, your goal isn't to work with everyone. It's to work with the right people who value what you deliver. And here's the other thing. If you were with Next Step CFO, we have a spreadsheet that will show you how many customers you can afford to lose and maintain the same profit you had before the price increase. Many business owners overcome their fear of driving away customers when they understand how many customers they can afford to lose. So here's another critical aspect of value-based pricing. Different customers perceive value differently. This is why a one-size-fits-all pricing is almost always a mistake. So instead, consider implementing tiered pricing options that allow customers to self-select based on their perception of value. Some people call this the good, better, best model. A software company implemented this strategy by offering 3 different tiers of service. One was a basic package, which was their good, $19.97 per year. A premium package, which was their better, at $3,997 per year. And their best was a VIP package at $7,997 per year. Before this change, they were offering only one option at $2,500. After implementing this tiered pricing, their average sale increased to $4,200, a 68% increase. Why? Well, because different customers value different things, and tiered pricing allows them to choose based on what they value the most. But here's where most businesses make another costly pricing mistake. They focus only on the price itself and ignore the payment terms. The way you structure your payment terms can have a massive impact on both your close rate and your cash flow. There was a business consultant who was charging $12,000 for a 6-month engagement, all due up front. By simply changing to a monthly plan of $2,200 a month, which is slightly higher than the total of $12,000 spread out over the 6 months, they increased their close rate by 35%. Same service, same value, just different payment terms. The bottom line is this: undervaluing yourself isn't just about leaving money on the table with each sale. It has a compounding negative effect on your entire business. It attracts price-sensitive clients who tend to be more demanding. It forces you to take on more clients to make the same profit. It creates cash flow problems that limit your ability to invest in growth. It positions you as a commodity rather than a premium provider. And it creates a vicious cycle where you feel you need to work harder for less money. Here's a question from a listener. Michael, what's the first step a business owner should take if they suspect they're undervaluing their services? Good question. The first step, well, that's what I call, the first step is what I call a value audit. You make a list of the specific outcomes that your product or service creates for your customer. And you be as detailed and quantifiable as possible. For example, don't just say it saves time. Say it saves 5 hours per week. And don't say increases revenue. Say increases revenue by 15 to 20%. Then calculate the monetary value of these outcomes. And once you see the actual value you're creating, you'll have the confidence to price accordingly. Another question from a listener. What about businesses in highly competitive markets where customers seem extremely price sensitive? How can they implement value-based pricing? Well, that's where your position of market dominance becomes absolutely crucial. So instead of competing in the same market space as everyone else, carve out a unique niche. For example, instead of being just another accountant in a crowded market, become the accountant who specializes in helping e-commerce businesses reduce their tax liability by 25% or more. Suddenly, you're not competing with every accountant. You're the specialist with specific expertise and proven results. This allows you to command much higher prices, even in supposedly price-sensitive markets. So before I continue this discussion, we're going to take a 90-second break.
Hey there, business owners. Let me ask you something. Are you tired of blending in with your competitors? Frustrated with slow growth and slim margins? Well, I've got news for you. Everything you've ever learned about growing your business is wrong. But don't worry. I'm here to let you in on a secret weapon. Your position of market dominance. It's what sets you apart, makes you irreplaceable, and has customers lining up at your door. My name is Michael Barbarita from Next Step CFO. I know what you're thinking. Sounds great, Michael, but how do I find my position of market dominance? Well, that's exactly why we've created our game-changing implementation program called Next Step to Market Dominance. In just 90 days, we'll guide you step by step to a position of market dominance by uncovering your unique strengths that competitors can't touch, by crafting a message that resonates deeply with your ideal customer, by building a strategy that turns you into the go-to expert in your field. Now, this isn't theory. These are battle-tested strategies that have helped businesses like yours double, triple, and quadruple their revenue. Don't let another quarter go by struggling to stand out. It's time to dominate your market, period. Go to nextstepcfo.net/contact, fill out the form, and in the message section, put the word dominate. Or call us at 781-326-3822. That's nextstepcfo.net/contact, or call us at 781-326-3822.
Welcome back. So now let's tackle the fifth major mistake costing businesses $100,000 or more each year. And this one's kind of close to my heart because as a CFO as well as a strategic implementation strategist, not knowing your numbers is the mistake. And it might seem basic, but you'll be shocked how many successful looking businesses are flying blind when it comes to their finances. And let me also share this. When we survey business owners, only 15% can tell us what their gross profit margin is off the top of their head. That's really, really bad, by the way. Only 5% know their customer acquisition cost, and fewer than 5% can tell us what the lifetime value of a customer is. Yet these are the fundamental metrics that should be driving every business decision. So here's a startling example. We recently worked with a company that was spending $20,000 a month on a marketing campaign that they thought was working well. When we dug into those numbers, we discovered that they were spending $320 to acquire each customer, but the average initial purchase was only $280. Well, at first glance, they're losing $40 on every new customer, and actually, in this particular case, they're really losing more because you lose your gross. You have to start with your gross profit when you compare it to your customer acquisition cost. But the only way this could possibly make sense is if they had a clear understanding of their customer lifetime value and retention, which they did not. Let me give you a great personal example. So when I was in the frozen cookie dough business, the problem that the customer had was they didn't want to waste valuable oven space baking cookies. If you're a pizza parlor, you want to focus on the pizza in the oven, not cookies in the oven. So what we did to solve that problem is with each opening order, we gave them a free convection oven, so they could bake the cookies and not utilize that valuable oven space. Oh boy. So, but here are the metrics. The opening order of these companies averaged between $50 and $100, while the convection oven, which I gave to them right up front, cost us $200. So we had the same situation as the marketing company I just described. However, we knew what the lifetime value of a customer was. It was $5,000. So based on that, and we were confident in our product, based on that, we'd do that all day long because we know that the customer would keep reordering and that the value of the customer would outweigh our initial investment in the convection oven. Up by a lot, by the way. So here's something you must do at a minimum. I know you all hate numbers, and I tell every business owner that they must know what I call the vital 5 numbers. Sales. Second, gross profit. Third, gross profit percentage. Fourth, net profit. And 5, your current cash balance. These 5 numbers should be burning in your memory. You should know these numbers as well as you know your own birthday. And if you don't, you're making decisions based on guesswork rather than data. And let me put this in perspective. So imagine driving a car where the speedometer, the fuel gauge, and all other instruments are completely covered up. Now, you might be able to drive for a while, but eventually you're going to run out of gas, get a speeding ticket or worse. And that's exactly what running a business without knowing your numbers is like. But knowing these basic numbers, this vital five, is just a starting point. But at least get those down. But to truly optimize your business, you need deeper financial clarity. And here's some of the key metrics every business should track. Number one is customer acquisition cost. If you watch Shark Tank, they're always asking what the customer acquisition cost is because it's a decision-making metric. Second is the lifetime value of a customer. How much revenue does that customer average over a lifetime with you? And then there's a ratio called lifetime value to divided by customer acquisition cost. It's called the LTV CAC ratio. Some people call it the LTV CAC ratio. A healthy business typically has a long-term value that's 3 times their customer acquisition cost, but it does vary between industries. Gross profit margin. So for every dollar of revenue, how much is left after the direct and variable costs of selling that product? Net profit margin. For every dollar of revenue, how much is left after all costs? Conversion rate. What percentage of leads become customers? Average transaction value. How much does the average customer spend per purchase? And frequency of purchase. How often does the average customer buy from you? Getting a question from a listener. There it is. Michael, this is a lot of numbers to track. But for a business owner who's currently tracking nothing, where should they start? Well, they actually should start by hiring us because this is what we go over all of these numbers in our sessions. But generally, start with that vital five, no question. And then graduate to what I call the revenue triangle. That's your conversion rate, your average transaction value, and the frequency of purchase. These 3 numbers are easy to calculate, and understanding these 3 numbers will immediately show you where the biggest growth opportunity lies. You know, is it converting more leads? Is it increasing your average sale or getting customers to buy more frequently? The answer will tell you exactly where to focus first. And here's the thing. Small changes in these numbers can have a leveraging effect, a massive impact on your bottom line. And let me show you how that works. So stay the course with me on this because this is really vital. Let's say a hypothetical business has a 25% conversion rate. So they have 1,000 leads, that's 250 new customers. An average transaction value of $500, customers who buy 2 times per year for frequency, and you have that 1,000 leads that I mentioned. So your annual revenue would be 1,000 leads times 25% conversion times a $500 average sale times 2 purchases per year equals about 250 grand. Now, get this one. Now, stay the course on this, because what happens if you improve each metric by just 10%? So your conversion rate goes from 25% to 27.5%. Your average transaction with the customer goes from 500 to 550. Customers who will buy 2.2 instead of 2, it goes up to 2.2 times per year. That's a 10% increase of the 2. And then it's 1,100 leads per year instead of 1,000. Once again, a 10% increase. Well, your new annual revenue would be 1,100 leads times the 27.5% conversion rate times a $550 average sale times 2.2 purchases a year. That equals 368,000. That's a 47% increase from just a 10% improvement in those 3 areas. This is the power of understanding and leveraging your numbers, not just knowing your numbers, but leveraging them. This is understanding the compound effect that small incremental changes can have in just these few areas. But here's the thing. When you understand your numbers, you can make strategic decisions about where to invest your resources. So here's an example. A service business that was considering two different growth strategies. One was increasing their marketing budget to get more leads. Second, investing in training to improve their conversion rate. And so when we analyze these numbers, we discovered that a 1% increase in their conversion rate would generate more revenue than a 10% increase in leads, and at a fraction of the cost. And so the insight completely changed their growth strategy. Another critical number most businesses track is their sales per direct labor hour. And this is particularly important for service businesses and businesses in the trades. When we analyze where time is being spent in a business, we often find that certain services, clients, or activities are actually losing money when you factor in the true cost of time. So a roofing company offered 3 different service packages, and when they calculated their sales per hour for each package, we discovered that their entry-level package, which they used primarily as a lead generator, was actually losing money. But slightly restructuring this package and raising its prices, they turned it from a money loser into, and raising its price, they turned it from a money loser into a profit center while still maintaining its role as a lead generator. And this brings me to another crucial point about knowing your numbers. They tell you which clients, products, or services you should focus on and which ones you should consider kicking to the curb or eliminating. A retailer carried over 200 different products. When she analyzed her profit per product, she discovered that just 37 products generated 83% of her profits. Many of the remaining products were either breaking even or losing money. And when you factored in inventory costs, shelf space, and management time, by eliminating that bottom 50% of products and expanding their top performers, they increased their profits by 40% without adding a single new customer. Got to know your numbers. Here's a question from a listener. Michael, many business owners find financial numbers intimidating. I agree. How can they overcome this fear and start making data-driven decisions? We'll start with what I call what I call the one number challenge. So you pick just one metric. I recommend gross profit margin because it's really revealing. If you just track that daily for 2 weeks, understand what your gross profit margin is on each sale for 2 weeks, just that single number every day. You'll quickly see patterns, you'll develop insights, and once you're comfortable with that, just add another metric. Soon you'll develop this financial rhythm that becomes second nature. You got to remember that financial clarity isn't about becoming an accountant. It's about having the data you need to make confident and strategic decisions. There's another question. You mentioned the vital 5 numbers, but what about cash flow? How important is that for a small business? Well, it's critical. In fact, poor cash flow management kills more businesses than poor profitability. But that's why the current cash balance is one of your vital 5. But beyond that, every business should have a 13-week rolling cash flow forecast. And this is a week-by-week projection of your expected cash flows and outflows. Expected inflows and outflows. And it gives you an early warning of potential cash crunches, and it allows you to take proactive steps. It gives you time to make those steps instead of all of a sudden waking up one morning and you have nothing in the company bank account on Wednesday and a payroll due on Friday. Got to remember, profit isn't the same as cash. Many profitable businesses have gone under because they ran out of cash. I always tell clients, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, but cash is reality. So before I continue the discussion, we're going to take a 90-second break.
Hey there, business owners. Let me ask you something. Are you tired of blending in with your competitors? Frustrated with slow growth and slim margins? Well, I've got news for you. Everything you've ever learned about growing your business is wrong. But don't worry. I'm here to let you in on a secret weapon, your position of market dominance. It's what sets you apart, makes you irreplaceable, and has customers lining up at your door. My name is Michael Barbarita from Next Step CFO. I know what you're thinking. Sounds great, Michael, but how do I find my position of market dominance? Well, that's exactly why we've created our game-changing implementation program called Next Step to Market Dominance. In just 90 days, we'll guide you step by step to a position of market dominance by uncovering your unique strengths that competitors can't touch, by crafting a message that resonates deeply with your ideal customer, by building a strategy that turns you into the go-to expert in your field. Now, this isn't theory. These are battle-tested strategies that have helped businesses like yours double, triple, and quadruple their revenue. Don't let another quarter go by struggling to stand out. It's time to dominate your market, period. Go to nextstepcfo.net/contact, fill out the form, and in the message section, put the word dominate. Or call us at 781-326-3822. That's nextstepcfo.net/contact, or call us at 781-326-3822.
Welcome back to Powerful Business Strategies. And once again, remember, you can catch all of our replays at powerfulbusinessstrategies.com. So now let's explore the 6 major mistake that's costing businesses $100,000 or more. And that is misunderstanding the buyer's journey. This mistake is so costly because you're missing out on 97 to 99% of your potential market. And here's that startling fact that most business owners don't realize. At any given moment, in any market, at any time, only 1 to 3%, and by the way, any industry, only 1 to 3% of your potential market is ready to buy now. Everybody's going after that 1 to 3%. We call these people the now buyers. The remaining 97 to 99% are somewhere in their journey. They're researching, they're considering their options, or maybe not even aware they have a problem yet until somebody makes them aware they have a problem. Think about that. But here's where most businesses go wrong. And I just said that earlier. They focus on all their marketing efforts on capturing that 1 to 3% of now buyers, completely ignoring the 97 to 99% who will eventually buy, just not right now. So let me give you an example. A home improvement company was spending thousands on direct response advertising with offers like call today for a free estimate, which, by the way, is I hope so marketing that everybody says that. And this approach was targeting only those homeowners who are ready for a project right now, the now buyers. When she analyzed her market, she discovered that the average homeowner only does a major renovation every 7 to 10 years. And by focusing only on now buyers, they were ignoring 90% plus of their potential market. And so to understand why this is such a costly mistake, you need to understand the 4 stages of the buyer's journey. So it starts with that awareness. The prospect realizes they have a problem or opportunity, and they look at what's out there. So they're just really an investigation phase. Second is consideration. So the prospect begins researching potential solutions and asking themselves why they should buy. What are the benefits? That's the next step in this information gathering, this journey that buyers go down. Third is objections. Well, the prospect evaluates specific objections and providers and starts thinking about what the objections are and why they shouldn't buy. And then finally, they're ready to take action, and the prospect not only makes a purchase decision, but they decide who they should buy from. And most businesses only market to prospects who are at the end of the journey. But by the time a prospect reaches these stages, they've already formed strong opinions and preferences. If you haven't been part of their journey from the beginning, you're going to be fighting an uphill battle. This is why understanding and marketing to all stages of the buyer's journey is so critical. And so let me show you how to do this effectively. So to do this effectively, you need to use what's called a drip campaign. Now, a drip campaign, and by the way, there's a lot of people who are against all this. But we've seen this work time and time again. This is a very productive strategy. A drip campaign is an automated sequence of value-added communication sent directly to the prospect or client or customer or patient. And a drip campaign follows the buyer's journey and communicates with customers or prospects on a predetermined and scheduled basis that nurtures the relationship through the various stages of education to purchase, the buyer's journey. So now here's the most critical part. Your drip campaign needs to use the conversion formula throughout the campaign in order to get a faster decision and conversion from the prospect to be a customer. You see, what we found is that it takes up to 100 touch points to convert someone to a customer while they're on the buyer's journey. But if you use the conversion formula, which we've talked about time and time again in previous shows, and we have a show strictly dedicated to it, if you use the conversion formula in the drip campaign, 80% of the time, the touch points reduce to between 5 and 12 touch points versus 80 to 100. So you must use the conversion formula. Captivate, the problem the customer has it doesn't want. Fascinate, the solution they want they can't find. Educate, why your solution works so famously. And then close, an offer that's so compelling that they can't say no. So a question from a listener, Michael, this makes so much sense, but how can a small business with limited resources effectively market to all these stages? Well, simply setting up a drip campaign on a constant contact or MailChimp or any other mailing platform that can give you the metrics that you need, like open rates and click-through rates and those types of things. It's very cost effective. It is the messaging that's important, and using the conversion formula will give you the right messaging. In addition, by the way, one of the most powerful tools for capturing prospects early in their buyer's journey is generating a lead magnet. So a lead magnet is a valuable piece of information that you'll offer for free in exchange for their contact information. And this allows you to begin building a relationship with prospects long before they're ready to buy. For example, the home improvement company I spoke of earlier created a guide called 7 Critical Mistakes to Avoid when Planning Your Home Renovation. This resource was valuable to homeowners in the early stages of thinking about a renovation. You know, they weren't ready to buy now, but it became part of their knowledge base and research base, the awareness and consideration stages of the buyer's journey. And by capturing these prospects early, they were able to nurture the relationship until the prospect was ready to move forward with a project. And so let me share a case study that shows the power of this approach. So a B2B software company was spending 10 grand a month on Google ads targeting now buyers. Their conversion rate from ad click to sale was about 0.5%, meaning that 99.5% of their ad spend was generating clicks, but no immediate sales. When they implemented a comprehensive lead magnet and a drip campaign strategy to go along with it, using the conversion formula, they were able to capture contact information from 15% of those ad clicks. And over the next 12 months, their drip campaign converted 20% of those leads into customers. This increased their overall conversion rate from 0.5% to 3.5%, which is a 600% improvement without spending, get this, without spending an additional penny on advertising. And here's what makes drip campaigns so effective. They establish you as a trusted advisor early in the buyer's journey. They allow you to stay top of mind until the prospect is ready to buy. They educate prospects on the value you provide. They pre-frame the buying criteria in your favor, and they position you as the logical choice when the prospect is ready to buy. But here's where most businesses go wrong with their drip campaigns. They make them too sales focused. Effective drip campaigns should be 80% education, 20% promotion, and they should provide genuine value at each stage of the journey. And remember, if you use the conversion formula by osmosis, you should be able to accomplish those percentages. Another question from a listener. Michael, you mentioned the importance of capturing prospects early in their buyer's journey. What types of lead magnets work best for small businesses? Well, that's a good question. The most effective lead magnets directly address a specific problem your ideal clients face. You notice a pattern on identifying that the problem the customer has doesn't want throughout these series of shows and even in this discussion that we're having today. They should be quick to consume, these lead magnets, but provide a meaningful solution or insight. For service businesses, I recommend we call the perfect lead magnet formula. So you identify the biggest mistake your prospects make, create a guide on how to avoid it, and offer it for free. For example, this is something that's worked very effectively. The 5 costliest mistakes business owners make when selling their company. That's just one example. This type of lead magnet not only attracts prospects, but also pre-frames them to value your expertise. Another question. Can you review the conversion formula again? Well, that's a great question. By the way, we have an entire show on the conversion formula at powerfulbusinessstrategies.com, but here's the Cliff Notes version. The key to successful marketing is you have to get into the minds of your prospects. How do you do that? We're not mind readers. So getting into the mind of your prospects is based on 2 emotional issues. That's the problem they have they don't want, and the solution they want they can't find. If you accomplish that, you get into the mind of your prospect. So we created the conversion formula, which is a formula that has to be done in the exact order or it doesn't work. For example, water, as we all know, the formula is H2O, 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. If you have 1 part hydrogen and 1 part oxygen, you don't have water. So like any other formula, the conversion formula has to be followed in the exact order. And it starts with the captivate, which is the problem that the customer has and doesn't want. It's usually a problem or frustration they have with the industry. Look there first. There's a systematic way that we use to identify this problem, by the way. Next step is in the formula is captivate, where we identify the unique solution to the problem that they can't find. Next step is educate, where we now educate the prospect on how the solution works and why it's so effective. And then the final step, which is an offer that has to be so compelling that the prospect can't turn it down. We have a whole show on what makes up a compelling offer. So before I continue this discussion, we're going to take a quick 90-second break.
Hey there, business owners. Let me ask you something. Are you tired of blending in with your competitors? Frustrated with slow growth and slim margins? Well, I've got news for you. Everything you've ever learned about growing your business is wrong. But don't worry. I'm here to let you in on a secret weapon, your position of market dominance. It's what sets you apart, makes you irreplaceable, and has customers lining up at your door. My name is Michael Barbarita from Next Step CFO. I know what you're thinking. Sounds great, Michael, but how do I find my position of market dominance? Well, that's exactly why we've created our game-changing implementation program called Next Step to Market Dominance. In just 90 days, we'll guide you step by step to a position of market dominance by uncovering your unique strengths that competitors can't touch, by crafting a message that resonates deeply with your ideal customer, by building a strategy that turns you into the go-to expert in your field. Now, this isn't theory. These are battle-tested strategies that have helped businesses like yours double, triple, and quadruple their revenue. Don't let another quarter go by struggling to stand out. It's time to dominate your market, period. Go to nextstepcfo.net/contact, fill out the form, and in the message section, put the word dominate. Or call us at 781-326-3822. That's nextstepcfo.net/contact, or call us at 781-326-3822.
Welcome back to Powerful Business Strategies. And as we wrap up today's show, let's summarize the $100,000 mistakes that we uncovered in the second part of our series. And more importantly, the solutions that can transform these costly mistakes into profit opportunities. First, we discuss the expensive mistake of undervaluing yourself and your services. Remember, customers don't say no to you, they say no to themselves. People only say yes when the value they perceive exceeds the price they're paying. By building value before presenting price, implementing tiered pricing options, and focusing on the outcomes you deliver rather than the time you spend, you can significantly increase your prices while actually improving your closing rate. Second, we uncovered how not knowing your numbers is silently draining profits from your business. Remember your vital five. Every business owner must know: sales, gross profit percent, net profit, and your current cash balance. Beyond these basics, understanding metrics like customer acquisition costs and lifetime value and your revenue triangle, the conversion rate, average transaction value, frequency of purchase. This gives you the insights you need to make data-driven decisions. Third, we tackle the most costly mistake of misunderstanding the buyer's journey. Remember, only 1 to 3% of your potential market is ready to buy now. By creating marketing strategies that capture prospects at every stage of their journey, can build relationships with the 99% who will eventually buy. Use lead magnets and drip campaigns to let you do this. To get a copy of the book, Powerful Business Strategies, simply go to our website, www.nextstepcfo.net. It's totally complimentary. And until next Monday at noon Eastern Time, for Chuki Obiyo, my name is Michael Barbarita, and remember, don't keep doing what your competition is doing.
You have been listening to Powerful Business Strategies, finding out that everything you ever learned about growing your business is wrong. Tune in next week and every week at noon Eastern Time on W4CY Radio with your host, Michael Barbarita of Next Step CFO, and moderator Chuki Obiyo.